reminded me, so I don't forget. Let me grab my stuff, you guys. It's just printed so that we can plan. Who else is using the content maps today? Anybody? Anybody?
Holly's raising her hand. I see her over there.
All right. Me. You guys, I will say I started digging into this. I was just telling Rochelle that. I started digging into this because I had a one-on-one. The waiting room is like popping, so give me a minute. Y'all be coming in here to plan. We're here for it. Okay. So I was telling Rochelle, and we were having this conversation that I said, I had a one-on-one with Linz, who's my enroller. And I was saying to her, like, every week I've been trying to come up with like all this new content and like different days and all this stuff. And I am somebody who thrives on structure and routine. So when I saw the content map and was able to just be like, okay, on Mondays, I'm going to talk before my Mondays before Thrive. I can take that personal. I can take that product. I can take that business, but that is what I'm going to talk about every single Monday. And then when it was like weekly pay, I can talk about weekly pay in so many different ways. Comp plan are going back to our fives. I think for a minute with the pain points, some of y'all might have gotten like a little like lost from your fives and so focused on pain points and not sure how to intertwine them when they do just go hand in hand together. So I was saying to Linz, I'm like, I want to structure my week. And then that is how my weeks are going to go for the next 30 days. So
Can
that
I ask you, yeah, sorry. No, I just want to ask, because I know not everybody in here is in Limitless. And maybe some people are new. And I know like the content map, it was posted a few days ago. And then I think it kind of got lost in the page. Is there anyone who's not familiar with what that content map is? I just want to like ask that so we can, I was looking, Amber, I was looking at you and I was like, I feel like Amber, she probably didn't see that. So, okay. See, there's okay, cool.
Let's circle back. This is for Rochelle, you guys. This is why we need each other because she keeps me like on like track. Because I just think y'all like seeing it pop up. You got just as excited as I am. You're clicking everything in the page. So, and then I forget that, in case you're not on Limitless. So Rochelle, do you want to go over the content map? Because you went over it last week.
Yeah, I'll kind of show it. And I know, guys, it's probably really difficult. Hold on. I'm going to hold it closer. Let me see if I can do, I'm going to hold it a little bit closer. Okay. So this is the content map. Okay. And so what it is it's Monday through Sunday. So it's 7 days. And then up here, we've got focused IPA, we've got posting topic, and we've got story focus. Okay. So Christina, do you want to type these out in the chat? The 3 categories.
To figure out if I knew how to screen share because I could show them, but I don't know how to do that.
So if you go down, I know how to do it. It's somewhere at the bottom.
Okay, I think I see it. Hold on.
This would be awesome if you could do this.
You guys, you are here for the learning. Okay. Let me go in here. Let me pull it up. Okay. I got it. Hold on. Where did the Zoom go? Technology. I don't know what y'all are gonna see. Desktop, right? Is that what I want?
So you clicked share screen, right? On your Zoom app?
Yeah.
We see you still.
I'm going. It's not working. I'm sharing my screen. Hold on, you guys. Y'all bear with me.
Okay, you work on trying to pull that up and I'll keep going,
talking. Okay.
All right, so we've got focused IPA, posting topic, and story focus all across the top. And then basically just going down, it's filling in the blanks. So we've been heavy on like pain points, right? And those are like the second or third layer to our onion that I always talk about. So the first layer to that are these right here. So your topics, your posting topic and your story focus. So like, for example, I'm going to give you guys an example. So posting topic going down Monday through Sunday on this content map that I have. Mondays before Thrive. So I can look at that and then, okay, I'm like, all right, I know I'm going to talk about what Mondays were like before these products. Let me go into my pain points list and see exactly what story I can tell about Mondays before Thrive. Weekly pay, pick a product 5, pick a comp plan 5, how the products make you feel, what Thrive has done for you, and then share about your why. So those are like, you guys see how those are the topics? And then you're going to pull like a story or an exact moment or like a pain point based on those topics. Does that make sense? And then same for like story focus. So going down, story focus Monday, focus on samples. And then I've got use personal testimony, talking in stories about each step, weekly pay. And then I'm going back to samples, why this company, Thrivers results. So sharing before and afters, promos, and then how is life different today versus like, 3 years ago before I started the product. So it's literally just mapping out your, like she said, like your content for the week or for 30 days or for however long. Oh, here we go. Okay, cool. It worked. You're muted though.
Y'all, I don't even know how to get back to you guys. So. You're seeing like all my Instagram, you're seeing it all. I apologize. Okay, so go ahead, Rochelle.
No, so this is exactly, yeah. So this is what it looks like. So is this the one that you filled in, or was Lindsay's example
This is
one, right?
the example, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is a content map. So like I just said, it gives you topics for posting and for your stories. And then based off of what your topic is that day, you're picking, like I said, a story or a pain point or, like something that you're going to share that has to do with like Wednesday, a comp plan 5. So I'm going to look at my 5s list and maybe I want to talk about like the fact that we earn our products for free. So that's what I'm going to share about that day. And then it gives you focused IPAs too, which is obviously huge. It gives you something to focus on each day. So this is kind of the direction that Christina and I are taking our content. And I have been using this for 2 weeks now. And I was just kind of doing it week to week. So I would take this and I'm like, okay, this is going to get me through the next 7 days. And then at the end of those 7 days, I'm going to go in and I'm going to like kind of move things around or like put in new topics. But what I've found is, and guys, let me know if you relate to this, but it's kind of some Sundays, I feel like I sit down to plan and I just kind of like go through the motions with it. I put topics down or pain points down just to put them down, just to say I did it. There's no like meaning behind it. There's no strategy. It's just going through the motions. And so it just becomes exhausting, right? Every 7 days to have to like think of all these things and come up with all of these. So for us, we are taking this and we're running with it for a full 30 days. That way each Sunday, all we have to do is look at what our topics are each day, look at our pain points list and decide like, what are we going to tie? Like what story are we going to tie to this? So here is a blank. There is a blank one, you guys, if you want to like completely make your own, you can kind of fill it in yourself. But yeah, that's the direction that Christina and I are personally going to start taking our content and how we kind of like plan. So yeah, we wanted to share that with you guys because I know, like I said, not everyone is in Limitless, and I hope that all makes sense. If you guys have any questions about it, definitely drop them in the chat. Yeah, it'll help a lot of people find their groove. I agree. I'm somebody, and I know Christina is too, like I have to like be able, this thing has gone around with me for 7 days. Like no matter, like I always have it right in my planner or I'm always picking it up like, okay, what am I focusing on today? And it's helped so much because it gives me like a sense of like structure. You know what I mean? It takes the guesswork out of so much. So, all right, there. Now they know what that is, Christina. So
thank you, Rochelle. And I learned how to screen share. I don't know what you guys saw, but I think you just saw my Facebook, but if you saw anything else, just pretend like you didn't, because I don't really know how to do all of that. Okay, so this is going to be found in the Limitless page. So if you're not in the Limitless page, let me just screen share again. You can take a screenshot of it and then you can redo it or something like that. So let me screen share one more time.
And I believe she created these on Canva, you guys. So if you're not in Limitless and you can't just pull this exact thing, go into Canva and you'll be able to like create your own right there.
Yep. So perfect. And you guys, I kind of went one step further with mine, and so let me just explain this real quick and maybe you guys will follow, like Rochelle was saying, and then we'll get into planning. For me personally, look at your business and what your business needs. Okay. If you are somebody that you're like, I need to get more customers, maybe you're going to go a little bit more on the products each week. So maybe, let's say you're posting 5 times about Thrive, right? Not including the fact that you need to also share about you, but let's say you're posting 5 times about a Thrive. 3 of them might be product, 2 of them might be promoter. Maybe you're somebody that's like, I'm good at getting customers. I realize I don't talk enough about the business. So maybe you're going to shift your content so that you're talking a little bit more about the promoter, and then the 3 times about the promoter, 2 times about the customer. Does that make sense? How you have to look at your business and see where you want to grow and where you're going. For me personally, I need to get bolder about the business side of things. I have very bold before and afters in weight loss journey. Okay. So for me personally, it is very not easy to get customers. I'm not saying that, but for me, my before and afters are very bold. I can talk about the products until I'm blue in the face. You guys, it's my comfort zone. I will just spit it out. So for me personally, I had to create my content map to basically look how I want my business and structure to look. And I want to build the team side of things a little bit more. So I needed to go a little bit more promoter. So do you see how I took that content map and I just adjusted it to me? I also post 2 times a day on Instagram. So whether I'm doing a reel or a post, 2 times a day, I'm doing something Thrive, something personal. So I actually have 2 content maps printed out. Okay. I have a Instagram content map and a Facebook content map. Why? Because I don't post as much on Facebook, meaning I post every single day, but I don't post twice a day. Sometimes I will if I'm feeling it, but otherwise I don't. So for me, my Instagram always is going to have Thrive something personal every single day, right? And then my Facebook, what I did was I made sure that I'm still hitting me on my Facebook and not being all Thrive. So I know I post once a day on Facebook. That's personally what I do. So I went and created my structure for Facebook so that it is Thrive, but it's also still hitting my branding 5s. So if I'm posting 7 days a week, I made sure that 4 of my posts are going to be about Thrive, whether it be product or content or product or business. And the other 3 are going to be me. Right? So this way I don't lose that me aspect, especially on my Facebook. So I made it separate. I also went ahead and put a column that says background work. And what I did, like I was telling Rochelle, I thrive in routine and structure. Okay. So what I did was now I created what my background work, what day it's going to be on for each day that fits my lifestyle, fits my schedule. I know I go to the doctors on Tuesdays. I do a lot of things on Tuesdays or Thursdays. So guess what? Those aren't my biggest days for doing content. I know that my hair is super greasy and I look like a hot mess on Tuesdays. So guess what? I'm not creating reels and stuff like that because I don't show up as the best version of myself when my hair's a grease ball. I don't feel the best Christina. I do when my hair is washed and fresh and I feel like I just went to the salon. So guess what? My content reflects that. My energy reflects that. So I do my content creating on Wednesdays. So do you see how then I took another column and created it and structured it so that you guys now I don't have to worry every single week. I have what I'm going to be doing. The only thing I have to pull from, like Rochelle was saying, is pull those pain points. I just have to decide what exactly I'm going to dig deeper. So Mondays before Thrive, what do I want to talk about? Right? I just have to pull a little bit deeper. If I'm going to talk about weekly pay, a lot of times I talk from my heart on weekly pay. When that weekly pay hits, I allow myself just to free write. What am I feeling in that moment? Right? Whether my check is one of my largest or whether my check is one of my lowest. It's the fact that I can do this from my phone and I get in my feels, no matter if my check's $1 or my check's $100 or whatever. I'm not making any income claims. What I'm saying is no matter what, I write from my feels of how grateful I am. So then my comp 5s, I'm going back to my 5s list, going back to my pain points, and I'll just pull from it. So whether I'm going to batch right now and get a lot kind of going, if I'm in my feels, or if I'm not, then I already know what I want to talk about and I can pull from that even the night before. Does this kind of make sense, you guys? I hope so. Rochelle, does it make sense? You always keep me in line.
Makes sense.
Okay.
You're doing good.
Okay, cool. And then my stories, right? When you're looking at your stories, what do you want to focus on? Right? It's gonna, though the content map that we showed you is a very generic one. Don't be afraid to change that. Maybe start with that for the next week or two and then start adding yourself into it. Same with focused IPAs. I know, for example, on my weekends, personally, I like to do more story interactions. It's easier for me. I feel like more people are hanging out in their stories. They're doing things on their weekend. I like to hang out in my stories, especially on the weekends. So guess what? I'm not growing my network on the weekend. I'm not cleaning up on the weekend. I personally like to go have conversations and be in stories. My 3-2-1s, I made them more heavy during the week because to me, I can sit down. I have more time to go through and do 3-2-1s. I like to flow through the stories on the weekends when I'm busy. When I'm like yesterday, I was standing in the Starbucks line getting my husband a tea and I was just flowing through stories, interacting. Right. So that's why you guys adjust things to be how you need them to be. And don't be afraid to change things. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to plan, right? So whether you want to grab a piece of paper, mimic this content map, go into the Limitless page. Maybe you have it right there. You can print it out real quick or whatever you need to do. But I want you guys to start planning your week. And like I said, how I said I thrive on structure and routine, maybe start to do that for yourself because maybe you're feeling like Rochelle said, and you're feeling that overwhelm every single week trying to like, well, should I talk about the product? Should I talk about what should I talk about each day? Structure 1 week that's product, opportunity, product, whatever it may be. And then when we sit down on Sundays, that's all you have to do is say, you know what, this week, I'm going to talk about energy. So every product post, I'm going to talk about energy and how much energy it's giving me. And I'm going to take pain points from my energy part. Boom, 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 boom. Because that's the product 5 I want to focus on. Maybe you're then going to look at the opportunity side and you're going to be like, you know what? I freaking love that people can come in their first 14 days and earn life-changing bonuses because I know that gave me so much hope. I'm going to talk about hope and our weekly pay and the fact that we have bonuses. So when you're talking about the business side, maybe you're going to talk about that and pull from your 5s, pull back those pain points of how you felt hopeless. Right. And then that's what you're going to talk about this week. Boom, done. Do you see how much easier that is? And then next week, you already have the structure of what days you want to talk about what. You go to your 5s, you pull your pain point, you peel back a layer. It doesn't always have to be a different topic every single day. It doesn't always have to be a different pain point every single day. Maybe this week, you're like, you know what? Last week was, I wouldn't have made it without my energy. And I want to talk about that this week because somebody else needs to know that. And that's all you want to talk about is that. Maybe you want to talk about your weight loss journey, right? Maybe you're on a weight loss journey. You're finally losing weight. You're finally feeling good and confident. And this week, that's all you want to rave about. Then rave about it. Don't feel like just because you got 5 different product loves that you got to talk about all of them all the time. Personally, you guys, for me, weight loss, energy, mood support. Those are my 3 biggest. That is what you will see the most on my page. Weight loss, energy, the mood support. And the mental clarity to me goes with the mood support. But those are mine. And I repeat them. Do I have other ones? Yeah, but those are the 3 that you will probably see me talk about the most. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. If you have any questions, or Rochelle, if you want to drop anything or add anything, please do. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the chat and let's start planning for our week. I'm going to add one thing because you guys, I just need to say this. This is how structured I like to be because I saw some people say that they love structure. On my content map, I even have a spot that says home because I'm getting some tips from Michelle about what days and structuring how I clean my home because I always see her being like Mondays or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, I need to get more structured. So do you see now I even have a home spot so that my business and my life always are together, if that makes sense. Also, one thing that I want to add about content, you guys, when you're looking at your stuff, getting ready to create and so on, is when we say pain points and everything like that, sometimes pain points can get, when we're talking from that space, it can get like where we feel like we're a little bit more, like more meat and potatoes, so to speak. Don't feel like every post has to be like that. Sometimes pulling back and sharing a pain point can even be just a simple paragraph, a simple couple one-liners, right? I know for me, for a while, when I started pulling from my pain points, I started realizing like everything for me was so in depth, and so like I can be very wordy. Hi, you guys are with me here, right? You know, I can get very wordy, and I was getting very wordy. And then I felt like every post was like that. And then I had to look back and say, okay, you know what, Christina, like I need to be able to like also drop just like those pain points in like zinger style, right? Like in like a little short paragraph or in a couple liners or just a little blurb. So don't feel like it always has to be some very like crazy, you know what I'm saying? Do you guys get what I'm saying on that? I hope that you picking up what I'm laying down.
I think too, if you're somebody like that, like Christina, who feels like they're very wordy and stuff, on the days where you make it a point to cut it back and maybe do like a zinger or like just a couple sentences, go into your stories and go face to face and get wordy in your stories. That's what I do when I like, especially when I like put out like a post where I'm like, I really like, that really came from my heart. This is really like something that I want people to hear. I will go into my stories and go face to face, because you guys know, like they can read it and whatever, but it's like when you actually like go face to face, like they can hear it in your voice, they can see it in your body language, like how much whatever that is means to you. So I like to do that. So go make it a point, go face to face in your stories and get wordy there.
Okay, so we have a question that just came in. Do you use the 5 4 3 2 1 daily activity tracker? I'm thinking of trying it, but also seems a little overwhelming to add to everything else. Personally, I don't use that. I do just our IPA system. But you can definitely intertwine them if you feel like you need more of a like tracker style, and that's something that's going to make you like help you. Because I truly believe, if I'm not misspoken, that the 5 4 3 2 1s are very similar to the IPAs, just structured a little bit differently. So if you need more of that, and that's how your brain works, just take your IPAs and put them into that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 tracker-ish, if that makes sense. And then roll with it. So they're not too separate to like do both. I would try to bring them together so that you aren't overwhelmed, if that makes any sense.
I was going to say that too. I think that they tie in. And if you are a tracker person and you are in Limitless or even Lionhearted, I know M has like a playbook out too. There's a habit tracker or like an IPA tracker where you can, if you're somebody who needs to check things off as you go, you can do that with your IPAs, but they definitely tie in.
Is the content map added to the playbook? So it is a separate thing. If you're in Limitless, if you just search content map, it is like its own thing because it just came out. So I don't know if she's added it to the playbook link yet or not. But I know that it's its own thing as of right now, so that people make sure to go grab it, because a lot of people have already printed off their playbooks and so on. So it is going to be right there for you. How we feeling planning so far, you guys? All right. So we're going to kind of move on, and then you guys can always circle back. So we kind of planned our topics. I'm going to have you mute yourself, or obviously you guys are muted. I'm going to mute myself. Oh, it's been a long couple days. Okay. If you all knew what was going down over here. Yes. So I added, so this is how my maps work. I have focused IPAs. I have Instagram posting topics. I have story focused because my stories go from my Instagram to my Facebook. So I only have to worry about one. I have my Facebook content, which anything that I pull, like it's all going to pull together. So like my Facebook is going to be the similar stuff that I post on Instagram, but because I'm not posting as much on Facebook, I want to make sure that I'm Thrive, my brand Thrive, I'm not getting too Thrive heavy. So it's the same content, just making sure that I'm laying it out. I have background work, so I know what days I'm getting all that background work done, which I'll show you guys. And then I have a home column. And as you can see, it's not filled out yet because I got to figure out how I'm going to clean my home. But, and then I have a home column. So things that I need to do for my house cleaning, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the background work in here. If you guys are on, I'm going to drop all of it. If you have your playbook, it's basically the playbook. But in case you don't, in case you're newer, this is all a lot of our background work. Oops, hold on. I got so many screens open, you guys, I just lost you. Where'd you go? Okay. Let me go ahead and post that in here. And what I want you to do right now, as we mute and we work, I want you to look at this background work, figure out when you're going to put the background work into your schedule. I want you guys to also look and make sure that your calendar has your Zooms that are non-negotiables to you, right? Monday nights, whatever other nights, right? That there are Zooms that are non-negotiable to you. Thursday nights, Wednesday nights. I know we have Zooms almost every night between the two, Lionhearted and Limitless. I know that there's now a Sunday Zoom. We have already a Work With Me, but I know that there's a Sunday Zoom now that just came out in Lionhearted. So go find the Zooms that are going to work for you. It is hard for us to go through the schedules, you guys, because there's so many different schedules. Okay. So I don't want to overwhelm you with all of them. I want you to go and pick the ones that you are going to get on and put them in your planner. Okay. So make sure that you get your Work With Me's in there, at least 2 to 3 Work With Me's a week, you guys, right? And pick the ones that are working best for you. Rochelle says this all the time. The night ones are not for her with her family. And once her daughter gets home from school and her kids and her husband, that's her family time. Her mornings are her business, right? Same for me. I do a lot of mornings, but I also hop on some of the night ones, especially when my husband's golfing and things like that. That's what works with my schedule. What works with yours?
Yeah,
right?
and I want to show you guys off of that. I want to show you guys how I structure my days. Like when we're sitting here doing this. So I went through what I do is I time block. I have to, as a busy mom, a wife, like all the things, I have to time block, and I have to set aside time where like my family knows like this is when I'm working. Like I set office hours for myself. Okay. And I have become super disciplined in those. It wasn't always that way, but if you don't have office hours for yourself, like even if you work a 9 to 5, you still need to prioritize your business, right? If you want to build it into something. And so you have to look at your days and be like, okay, when can I sit down for X amount of time and get my stuff done every single day and become disciplined in that? So for me, I block it off like this. So I know in the morning time before I wake up before my kids, and these are the tasks that I get done. These are my morning non negotiables. And then I know at 9 o'clock my time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm on the morning work with me's because again, evenings don't work with my time zone. Like that's bedtime, bath time, all of that doesn't work for me. So I do that. And then when my son goes down for a nap, this is like my biggest chunk of like office hours right here. It's when I get the most done. And then right now, when we're doing background work, this is where I put in my background work. So right next to this space here, I'm going to put down all of the stuff that I'm going to do in the background. And that's what I'm going to do. And then this is the Monday night Zoom. And so for me, like having those lists of the background work and stuff, when I do sit down for my office hours, when I did not plan, you guys, and I didn't plan that background work and everything, I would sit down and I would get like caught up in scrolling, or my like time would end and I'm like, what did I get done? Like I started this new story, but I didn't finish it. Or, like I told myself I was scrolling for real sounds, but like, did I even save any? So having that list of this is exactly what I'm going to do when I sit down has helped me so much because I'm a checklist person. So like, I love being able to go through and check things off. And I can do that when I plan this way. So I just wanted to share that because she was kind of talking about how I structure my days and time block and stuff.
I love that. So make sure you're setting up your own work with me time if you can't get on the other ones. When are you going to work your business? Holly, do you mean that you're going to drop it in the chat? I'm not sure what that, Holly. So make sure that you are structuring your days to how you want them to look, right? Oops, somebody tried to kick me out. I'm here. So pick your work with me times, go through that background work. I'm going to mute myself and make sure you have your focused IPA in there too, you guys. So what is your focused IPAs work? Whatever's easiest for you, Holly.
Okay, I have a kid show going, so don't mind that. But no, I wanted to share this because I've had to find a couple different ways to do this, but I use the brain dump page and then I highlight Monday through Sunday and I write down using the content map. But I take my vibes list. So I take this out and then with that content map also, I brain dump what I'm going to post about on each day. And then I implement this into my like daily pages. So I just want to share that.
I love that. Do you guys see how she's using multiple different areas of the playbook and working them for her, right? The brain dump, the content mapping, and then the daily to-do sheets, right? So that's like perfect, you guys. Like you can take your content map and use those daily to-do sheets. Like don't get out of those good habits that have you going in the right direction. So like Rochelle said, like these things go with us everywhere. So like I personally have my playbook, a big playbook, and then I have the sheets that I use all of the time that are with me in a notebook. So I'm getting better about if I like am going somewhere, my notebook comes with me. Things go with me now because my business goes with me everywhere. Thank you for sharing that, Holly. So how are you guys feeling? Do you see what we mean by when, and you might have to work on this after you get off of here, and that's okay to do as well, right? So it's okay to kind of start getting structured and then maybe play with some things. But do you guys see what we mean by next week when you come on, you'll already have everything pretty mapped out for yourself, especially if you're someone that likes structure, likes routine, and your life is that way. Like my life is very structured and routine. So a lot of the same things happen on the same days and so on. Especially if you have kids and you know their activities and their dance schedule, or, you know, wherever they got to be and things like that. It's very easy then to start structuring your weeks, even for the season. You know what I mean? For the next 4 weeks, because you know, this is what's going on and this is how things are going. Does that kind of make sense? And the only moving pieces, you guys, are going to be maybe those work with me's, are going to be maybe the background work, are going to be maybe the times of when you're working, but yet your content structure, your focused IPA, those types of things are there. You know what you need to do. Maybe the times are just going to change. Does that kind of make sense? Rochelle and I are trying to make sure that we kind of go through the things and figure out what's the best and bring it back to you guys. And this, we were talking about it, especially once the content map came up and I got my hands on it too. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is gold for me, because I've been trying to like change things up and it just does not work for me. I am a creature of freaking habit. I'm also somebody, when you tell me what to do, I do it. So this is Rochelle and I laugh about this. So for me, this is me telling me what to do, and I'm just going to mark off my check boxes and do it. And then the next day and the next day, and I don't have overwhelm of like, what's tomorrow going to bring? I already know. And I already know what next week's looking like because I already have it planned. Do you guys see? For me, it helped me a lot mentally. So we'll go ahead and just, how is everybody feeling with their planning before we go into batching? Everybody good? Does anybody need more time? We want you guys to plan and feel really good about planning, or ask us any questions before we start to just kind of batch and go from there. So if you need more time, please drop it in the chat. If not, we are going to go into our batching session for you to start kind of working on some posts or things for the week. I don't see anybody needing. That's cool. That's good. That's all right, Adele. I love it. I love it. That was me. Last night I was working on this so I could bring it to you guys. So I'm a little ahead of myself today too.
I don't know about you, Christina, but I like this too, because looking at it, I have like a really good idea of what kind of content I need as far as like photos go for the next like 30 days. Like I know how many times my content's going to be kind of like around the products. And so like maybe I'm going to take some like cute photos with like my DFT showing or like holding up my products. I know, you know, like how many times I'm going to talk about like the auto bonus, things like that. So maybe I'll take like a photo in front of my car or inside my car. So I like it for that aspect too, because it gives you a good idea of like what kind of photos and stuff you're going to need to go hand in hand with everything. So
yeah, I love that. And you guys, the beauty of it too is like you can like you already know, like Rochelle was just saying, so this week if you're out and about, you can snap photos for next week, right? Because you already know like, oh my gosh, like I've got this stuff going next week too. This is going to be a perfect post for that next week's comp plan because I already posted about it this week. Do you see what I'm saying? So you're already like fast forward thinking, if that makes sense. And to me, that's like when I stay in creation mode and stay like that is when my business excels too. And I feel like because it's already written down, I can stay in that creating mode is what's helpful for me versus having to plan, then also create. I'm already planned. Now I can keep my brain in creation mode for the next few weeks, if that makes any sense. So all right, you guys, I don't see anybody saying that they need any extra time, Rochelle. So if you want, we can take over and do a few batching.
yeah. Okay. So let's start with 3 for, gosh, why do I always forget how many minutes we do this for? Do we do it for 3 or do we do it for 4 or 5? I don't even know. 3. We'll go with 3. That'll give you time to, if you don't finish, at least you'll have like a little bit of a brain dump for a topic. So let's start with 3. So I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes. Personally, I go right through my week. I start on Monday and kind of work my way through. But if you have a topic that's jumping out at you and maybe it's not until Thursday, take this time and start batching that one out. So as always, let's put the topics that we're currently posting, typing out into the chat just kind of for that line of accountability. Gonna mute myself. All right, you guys, there goes the timer on that one. So I'm going to set another 3-minute timer so we can do another one. All right, there's the timer on that one too. So let's go ahead and do one more and then we'll kind of open it back up for some questions before we get off and enjoy our days.
I just want to add this real quick while you guys are batching. Something that Rochelle touched on and we kind of touched on earlier was about like having your heart speak in your stories. That is one thing, you guys, for me, like I notice, and maybe you're the same way, like I know one of my strengths is my heart, and I'm not always the best with getting it out in words. So what my focus is these next like 30 days is to be really bold with my content, and then get them into my stories where I can be that heart person and show that heart part of me versus trying to really get my heart across in all the words, because sometimes they can get really lost. I'm better going face to face and giving off that like my heart and who I am. So I'm going to really focus on being very bold in my content because it's easier for me to be bold with words versus bold face to face and let my heart speak that way. Does that kind of make sense? Like how I'm trying to like kind of get a rhythm to with myself and so on. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because that's something that I learned about myself and was like, you know what, I want to shift a little bit of my content.
I love that. Something else I just want to recommend, the timer just went off, you guys, just so you know. Something else that I do on Sundays is I pull up my Instagram feed because for me, I mostly, whatever I post on Facebook, I bring over to Instagram and vice versa. So for me, I just pull up my Instagram because you can see all of your, like you can see your grid, all of your photos all at once. And so I look on Sundays at what I've posted in the last like week or so, and it gives me a good idea of like what I need for content photos for the upcoming week. Because if you're like me, I don't like when my like photos are all like selfie, 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 or they're all in the same exact outfit or the same exact spot in my house. I like to break it up. So I will look at, like right now, I'm looking at my Instagram grid and I'm making like a list, like I'm brain dumping like the kind of photos that I need. Like I need, you know, some photos of like my family and I, all of us together. I'm like, okay, I need to either go dig through and find one or I need to take a new one this week. For me also, I want, and this is something new that I've been doing. So for me, when someone pulls up my Instagram, you know how they see like those 9 squares or however many they see, I want there to always be at least one of my personal result photos. So I want there to be one before and after. And I can see here that mine from, I don't even know how many days ago this was, 1 week ago, it's about to fall off. So I know that I need to go in and I need to create like an updated one. And so for me, the best way that I do that to switch it up so it's not always the same before and after is I go through my Facebook I'm always, you guys know, like every morning I look at my Facebook memories because I like being able to pull old photos and just old memories and talk about things that, went on or whatever. I go to my Facebook and I scroll back in my photos and I'll just like find an old photo of myself that I haven't used or haven't used in a while. And that is what I use as like my before to obviously my after. So look at what you have for photos and figure out, like, brain dump what kind of content you need and use that as part of your background work, right? Like that's background work. So I wanted to share that little tip that I did. I need to make an opportunity highlight video. Yeah, it's having something. Yes. Yeah. Opportunity videos are really, really great to have. Especially like when you have your own potential, they like to hear it from you, not somebody else. So it's a really great idea to have your own like highlight for that you can direct them to. So, all right. So there we are with our planning and batching. Does anyone have any questions before we close this up? Christina, do you have anything you want to add while we give them a minute? We good?
Just to add, you guys, about the content and the photos on things too. Something cool that I've been kind of doing. I do have the pinned post. I don't know if you guys have done that yet or not. So I do pin my top 3 pins, you guys, and they actually, people go to them. So my top 3 pins have something to do with like the products and that they can sample, so that they know where to go to click the link in my bio for a sample. It has, I'm talking about the bonuses in one of them, and I'm talking about like basically who I am, being a proud thriver, building 3 new teams because we're in bonus season. So you guys, if you want to use the pin post, not everybody does, and you don't have to, but those are options too if you didn't know for Instagram. But what I was going to say is, for example, like one of my photos or a couple of my photos, what I do is sometimes I will zoom in on certain parts of the photo and reuse the photo in multiple different ways. So for example, you'll see that like this photo is of a flower, of flowers. I zoomed in on it. So you're seeing just the flowers, but the actual photo says someone's thinking of you and you see the flowers popping through. So this week on my grid, I can use that same photo. I do that a lot if I'm wearing certain stuff, like for like I have a shirt on that's like says Boo-ha on it. So on some of my, like on my, this week, if I need a photo, I will even just zoom in on that Boo-ha and that'll be that. One of my reels was, it said, reminding you that baby steps add up, keep climbing, babe. So what did I do? I zoomed in on the words. So just the words are my cover photo. And then when they click it, they see me walking up the stairs and it goes with the trend. So do you see how you can like kind of zoom in on photos and reuse multiple different things too, or even with your reels, finding a reel, what's that called? A filter that you can kind of pair with your filter that you already have has worked tremendously for me too, because then I use, like, if I'm doing a reel, I will just use one of those images as my cover photo. And I'm not trying to have like all these different photos. Cause like I said, I post 2 times a day on Instagram. So that's 14 photos at the end of the week. I don't leave my house. Okay. And a lot of the pictures are just me because my husband doesn't like photos. So I have to get creative. So get creative. I take pictures of objects around my house. Like I have birthday cards that look fun, or I have like different little objects or decor. If you have decor around your house, take pictures of even just your decor and have those be your reel covers. Especially, I like those to be my reel covers and so on. So just some little tips when it comes to content, like Rochelle was saying, and like looking at your grid and seeing, what do I want those 9 squares to say for me? I love that you said that, Rochelle, because I have been trying to be more aware. So thank you for the reminder.
You're very welcome. I don't have anything else to add except for, if you are in Limitless, we've been asked a lot recently for an updated like TikTok training. So I did put a post on there, and I want you guys to go drop all of your TikTok questions on that thread so that we can do that training. So while I had everyone here in one spot, I wanted to throw that out there. If you guys could do that when you get off of here for me, go and drop your questions on that thread. But I don't have anything else, Christina. I feel good about my upcoming week. This content map I freaking love it. I think that it's going to help a lot of you for sure. Just kind of have that like structure throughout the week and take the guesswork out for a lot of you. So I hope that you guys enjoy it as much as we do. You'll have to let us know next Sunday how you felt about it this week if you are using it. But yeah, I'm good, Christina. I don't have anything else. So I think we are
Awesome.
good to hop off. All right.
All right,
have a
you guys, we'll see you
night.
next week and I'll get this uploaded as soon as possible. Talk to you later.